And then Dr. Swift, we now have the superintendent's report.
Well, good evening. The end of January, here we are, and we appreciate having had a good start with our teachers and our staff, and appreciate all the hard work coming off of winter break. And I was with the Carpenter staff this afternoon, and they felt like, and I agreed, that winter break was a long time past. And it's funny how the time flies like that. Well, Saturday, January 20th, was just such a special day as we celebrated the 50th anniversary of Huron High School. It was a spectacular evening with student-led tours, performances by the choirs, orchestras, bands. They had group after group, and every group was just hitting it out of the park. There they are, right there. So there's a lot of great coverage on the AAPS News. There's Dr. Westerman, who joined us for the evening. But it was just a wonderful evening. We welcomed many former students, some from early on. 1969 were some of the earliest graduates who were there that evening. We welcomed former Superintendent Dr. Scott Westerman, who was superintendent in the Ann Arbor Public Schools when the school was opened. We had former principals, Dr. Joetta Mile and Dr. Arthur Williams. It was just great to see everyone there. In addition, several of our trustees, our very own Huron River Rat, Trustee Simone Lightfoot, along with Trustee Manley, who served at Huron as a teacher, counselor, administrator. She served a very long time at Huron as a member of that family. And Trustee Basquette joined us that evening. So it was just such a great evening. Congratulations to Principal Dr. Janet Schwam and her staff for organizing a wonderful celebration. They installed a time capsule, and we were just intrigued by the objects that each class chose to put into the capsule. So you have to go on and read about that. Miss Joe Mathis did an incredible job on this coverage. And if you go in and look at some of this, they even have the author of the fight song singing the fight song. And it was fascinating because there were about 3 different versions of the fight song. The original one evidently said that the women would support the men in achieving a victory. And so at some point in the 50 years, they adapted that. And so it was interesting that the different generations of graduates remembered the fight song with different words. And you could see that when they got to the part, that part of the celebration. The Ann Arbor Public Schools home building teacher, Mr. Mark Valsheen, and he is a gem, who is only in his 2nd year in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. We were so proud, Miss Dickinson Kelly and I, when she stole him from a neighbor's garden. We plucked him right up, and he is doing an incredible job. He was honored on Monday morning with the Career and Technical Education Outstanding Program of Excellence in Practice Award for the state of Michigan. And I really appreciate that Trustees Basquette and Manley took their time. It was kind of a long drive out to Grand Rapids, and joined our CTE Department Chair, Karen Isley, and represented the district during these awards. I'm sure they'll speak to the great time they had and the wonderful honor. But look how good they look in this photo. Isn't that great? Thurston's 4th grade students sang for the University of Michigan future music teachers last week under the direction of music teacher Yael Rothfeld, one of our favorites, who always brings her choir to perform for us, so we know them. The performance is a collaboration between the Ann Arbor Public Schools and the university, and is done to show future music teachers what children can do. So what a great event. Last Saturday, Pioneer again hosted the extremely popular district-wide Future Stars program to rave reviews. This has been all over Twitter. All the students performed beautifully. It's remarkable how much talent we have in our student population. Many thanks to Principal Tracy Lauder for judging and hosting, as well as teachers Quinn Strassel, Alex Layden Frost, as well as stage manager Administrator Misty Plummer. Congratulations for their hard work and a tremendous success. And I believe you'll see here The Voice.
Lathel Saudi.
Yes, was one of the judges. So it was a great evening. Over the past 2 days, literacy grants, we've been out awarding literacy grants. Mr. Cluley and Ms. Jenna Bacalor have been out there. Ms. Bacalor has worked with Andy Thomas, former trustee Andy Thomas, and in distributing the literacy grants from the Karen Thomas Fund, who were awarded to teachers at 7 elementary schools. The awards were presented by Andy Thomas, Jenna Bacalor, and Andrew Cluley. The projects receiving grants represent creative ideas that teachers have come up with for supporting literacy through their classroom and at home support and diversity inclusion efforts. The schools, will you play one of these just so they can see how you just have to feel this excitement? And they got to do this 7 times in the last 2 days.
This means, right? No, but, oh, yeah! Yes! I'm so excited! Yes! This is so exciting! Yeah! I'm so excited! This is my classroom? Yes! I'm so excited!
Who are these people?
Who are these people? And really good friend, Miss Bacalor. Can you please say hi?
Hi.
She has helped me be the teacher that I am today, so thank you. And she's here with what I hope is really good news. I'm trying not to cry.
So if you're not on Twitter, it's worth it to get on Twitter to see this 7 times over and all the excitement. In one of the photos, every single child in the class is high-fiving the teacher. It takes a while to get all that done, but the celebration, and you can see in this class they were celebrating even before they knew what was coming into the room. So I just love that enthusiasm. Pittsfield was Heather Hoppa and Jennifer Wade reading adventure packs. Rez Cato, access to quality literacy books. Eberwhite was Lindsay Pulaski and Shakira Player. They got read-alouds for community story time. At Bryant, Maggie Road, Reset Implicit Associations, books with black and brown characters. At Thurston, Kelly Steinhauer and Amy Lauerman got Creating Growth Mindset using diverse books. And at Baugh, Robin Frisch Gleason, Book Room Expansion, grades 3 through 5. At Mitchell, it was Catherine Hogan's, who really made the home connection, social, emotional, and behavioral learning. And then finally at Lakewood, Melissa Schmidt, At Home Literacy for All. So we so much appreciate Trustee Andy Thomas and the Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation that is working with us now and working through the distribution of these wonderful grants for our teachers. I wanted to, as President Stead mentioned, offer some words following not just the Michigan State situation, but anytime you turn on the news or look at the newspaper, folks are worried about safety, and we just want to reiterate to our community. I gave a similar remarks back in December, trustees, and we feel like this is a regular reminder that we want to provide to our students, to our staff, and to our community. So I want to assure our community that student safety remains the top priority in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. It comes even before our critical mission of teaching and learning. We do understand completely the concerns that arise when parents read the news or watch the news and see the kinds of concerns that are out there in the world. I want folks to know that all our stakeholders should be reassured that we take the safety of our students and staff very seriously and work hard to provide a safe learning and working environment, as well as resources for those students who struggle. And I appreciated Trustee Stead showing our You Are Not Alone video. There's also a parent series with our counselors. All of that information is right on the front page of our website. We invite folks to get out to any of those events. But more importantly, when you have a concern, reach to us directly. Don't wait, do it early. I can assure our community that we take each and every report of any kind of misconduct, sexual harassment, or any concern very seriously, as well as reports of students or staff who may be at risk, and immediately take steps to investigate these reports and take appropriate action. And in fact, trustees, I haven't had an opportunity to send you an email yet today about a student this afternoon who was found to be in distress. And we were on professional development, so we knew that that student had already left the building. Contact was made, and that student had a wellness check at the home, was found in deep distress, and was transported to get help. And that happened today. It happens every day in the Ann Arbor Public Schools, but it happens because we're partners. And part of the statement here is if you see something, say something. So if you're aware of any child in distress or any situation that causes you concern, we ask you to reach out right away. The Ann Arbor Public Schools Board of Education Policy 5000 in our rights and responsibilities addresses specifically information about a broad range of issues, including discrimination, harassment, and misconduct, along with the process for reporting and resolving these issues. You don't have to know our policy to get help, though. All you have to do is let us know. Give us a call or give us an indication. When we become aware of a concern or a safety situation, these events trigger a number of steps within a consistent protocol. While all of these steps may not be publicly announced as they occur, they absolutely are consistent, and they are in place to support our students, our staff, and our community. When it comes to some sensitive situations, while we're not always able to share the specific level of detail regarding our safety efforts that some might want, I can reassure our community that appropriate and vigorous measures are immediately put in place in situations that can pose any threat to students and to staff safety. We are always working in a close partnership with our Ann Arbor Police Department. They helped us today with that student, and other law enforcement agencies to ensure that all measures have been taken to assure the safety of our students and our staff at school. I want to reassure the community that that happens 24/7. It happens on the weekends. We are here for our community. In addition, we are most fortunate to have professional and committed counselors, social workers, school psychologists, and other staff members that are dedicated specifically to social emotional supports in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. I appreciate that the board supported the addition of counselors over this past summer because we were aware of the tremendous uptick and increasing level of concern about social emotional health in our community and across the country. These professionals serve students, staff, and families and meet with them right at their point of need. They serve grieving families. They do network analysis to reach from that child who struggles out to the friend network and then to the secondary network. This is in-depth work that occurs in our schools every day. Some steps that we regularly take include direct communication with students, parents, and staff, emergency removal for students or staff who may be at risk of harming themselves or others. We conduct comprehensive threat assessment protocol to see if there is a threat in the environment and how we should address it. We require mental health assessment when that particular treatment is the appropriate to the concern that has arisen. We are mandatory reporters, and we call and report concerns to Child Protective Services. And finally, we take any and all other protective measures appropriate to any specific situation with which we're dealing, including reaching to our partner organizations. Our executive directors have been working with the University of Michigan Depression Center, with the Suicide Prevention Organization, and I'm going to be inadequate frequent in naming all of our partnerships, but we are the beneficiaries of robust partnerships in the community. Washtenaw County is another one of those. Always, in situations of concern, we remain in full communication with parents of students involved. We're very careful, however, to ensure that student identities and supports remain confidential, as that is appropriate for sensitive matters. Specific student identity information is always protected, and specific information is not shared publicly as to protect those involved so that their privacy is protected. Again, we reassure our students, parents, and community that the Ann Arbor Public Schools will always hold student safety as our top priority, even before our critical mission of teaching and learning. We take the care and protection of our students as the most serious responsibility that we carry. As a reminder for students, parents, and staff, when any concerns arise, you may be the first one to observe that sign of struggle or trouble or distress. We ask you to reach out early, reach out often, get a hold of any adult at the school, email us, call us, reach out, and we will immediately act. We are always here to support our students and staff, and we will always hold the safety of our students, staff, and family as our number one priority. So I thank you, trustees. I know that I've repeated that message, but I felt like after the week that we've had, it bears repeating. This will be posted on our website, and we will also be posting that hotline number. So just in case folks are not comfortable reaching out at school, this is a number where you could just call, remain anonymous. I feel like the student that helped us today find a student in distress was able to remain anonymous on that, and that's how it should be. But we got the help to the student who needed it. So I thank you, trustees, for the opportunity to share. It is such an honor and a privilege to serve in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. Thank you.
I would like to acknowledge that just recently, last week, Dr. Swift was at the MASA event on January 25th, and I know a couple of our trustees were able to join her in Kalamazoo, where she was celebrated for being Michigan's Superintendent of the Year for 2018. And another congratulations to her. This is a well-deserved honor. She has earned that. We have a lot of data to show for that. But I just wanted to congratulate her as she takes her seat again for her day. And it happened to be in Kalamazoo, but we're lucky to have her every day here and her attention here every day. So thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
All right.